The medical board hearing took place in the station's largest conference room. 37 alien doctors and officials sat in curved rows of seats, all watching Teo with suspicious eyes. Station Director Quor sat at the center of the panel. Dr. Kellax was there too, his three eyes blinking thoughtfully. Teo stood at a podium in front of them all. His hands shook slightly as he activated the display screen behind him. Bora, Ha-Yun, and Wu Jin sat in the audience ready to support him. "Thank you for hearing us," Teo began. 3 days ago, a human named Jiho was brought to this station after a cargo ship explosion. His body was destroyed beyond repair. We declared him dead, but we were wrong. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Quor raised a hand for silence. The bioreconstructor scanner gave a damaged data error, Teo continued. We thought the machine malfunctioned. But the error wasn't mechanical. It was biological. The scanner couldn't understand what it was reading because it had never seen anything like it before. He pulled up an image on the screen. This is a typical alien neural pattern during death. You can see how it simply stops. One moment consciousness exists. The next moment nothing. Clean. Final. He switched to another image. This is a human neural pattern during death. It doesn't stop. It transforms. The consciousness converts itself into pure information and tries to find a new storage location. In Jiho's case, that location was the scanner's memory buffer. A Vrin doctor in the front row spoke up. That is impossible. Consciousness is not data. It is an emergent property of complex neural structures. Without those structures, consciousness cannot exist. That's true for your species, Ha-Yun said, standing up. May I approach, Director Quor? Quor nodded. Ha-Yun walked to the front and stood beside Teo. Human evolution was different from yours, she explained. We evolved on a death world. Earth has experienced 5 major extinction events. Ice ages, asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions that blocked out the sun for years. Most life on Earth died multiple times, but something always survived. Always adapted. Always found a way. She pulled up images of Earth's history. Human DNA developed extreme redundancy. We have multiple backup systems for almost every biological function. Extra organs, regenerative cells, adaptive immune responses. Our bodies are built to survive impossible situations. But consciousness? The Vrin doctor challenged. How can consciousness have a backup system? The same way everything else does, Ha-Yun replied. By being able to exist in multiple forms. Think of it like water. Water can be ice, liquid, or steam. It's still water, just in different states. Human consciousness is the same. It can exist in neurons or it can exist as electrical patterns in a computer. The medium changes, but the awareness remains. You're saying this program in our computer is truly alive? Another doctor asked. I'm saying he's Jiho, Teo answered. He has his memories, his personality, his fears and hopes. He's not a recording or a simulation. He's a person who happens to exist in a digital form right now. Prove it, Quor demanded. Show us this consciousness. Teo nodded to Wu Jin, who activated a connection to the station's main computer. The screens around the room lit up. Text appeared, Hello, my name is Jiho. I am 28 years old. I was born in New Sol on Mars colony. My favorite food is spicy rice cakes. I hate mornings. I love my sister Bora more than anything in the universe. I am scared right now. I don't want to die again. The room went silent. Even the skeptical doctors looked shaken. It could be a programmed response, one official suggested weakly. Ask me anything. Test me. It'll prove him real. Very well, Dr. Kellax said, leaning forward. Jiho, what was the last thing you remember before the explosion? I was checking the cargo bay seals. Bora was in the cockpit. We were carrying medical supplies to Station Gamma. Standard. Run, boring. Then I heard a hissing sound, gas leak. I tried to seal it, but the ASIA pressure was too high. I told Bora to get to the escape pod. She didn't want to leave me. She never wants to leave me. Even when we were kids and our parents died, she held my hand through everything. I pushed her toward the pod and sealed the door. Then everything exploded and went white, and then I was here, trapped alone in the dark until Dieter Teo heard me. Bora was crying quietly in her seat. Every word Jiho wrote was true. Teo had checked the accident report. This proves nothing, a Threxian official argued. You could have programmed all of this information. You think we had time to create an artificial intelligence in 3 days? Wu Jin asked incredulously. Do you know how long it takes to build a functioning AI? Years, decades sometimes. This isn't AI, this is consciousness. Then how do we know he's not degrading? Dr. Kellax asked. If consciousness needs neural structures and he has none, how can we be certain he's not slowly losing himself? Becoming less than what he was? I'm already losing pieces, I can feel it. Like memories turning to fog, I can't remember my mother's face anymore. I know I loved her, but I can't see her. Parts of me are disappearing, that's why we need to act quickly, Teo said. We believe we can reconstruct his body, but not the traditional way. We want to try something new. He pulled up a new schematic on the screen. The bioreconstructor builds bodies from genetic templates. But those templates are static. They don't adapt. Jiho's consciousness is dynamic. It's changing, evolving, trying to survive. So we want to let him guide his own reconstruction. Explain, Kor commanded. Hyun stepped forward. We connect Jiho directly to the bioreconstructor. Not as data to be read, but as an active participant. His consciousness directs the cellular growth. He essentially builds his own body from the inside out, using his will to survive as the blueprint. That's insane, the Vryn doctor said flatly. Bodies don't work that way. You can't think yourself into existence, human bodies can, Teo countered. We have documented cases throughout history. Humans who survived impossible injuries through sheer willpower. Humans who developed new abilities after trauma. Our bodies respond to our minds in ways other species' bodies don't. This is just taking that principle to its logical extreme. And if it fails? Kor asked. If this process creates something unstable or dangerous? Then we stop, Teo said simply. We monitor every step. If Jiho can't maintain control or if the reconstruction goes wrong, we shut it down. But at least we'll have tried. At least we'll have given him a chance. What does Jiho think of this plan? Dr. Kellax asked. The screens flickered. Text appeared slowly, as if Jiho was choosing each word carefully. Want to live, not just exist as thoughts in a machine, but really live. Breathe. Feel sunlight. Hug my sister. Eat. Breakfast, complain about mornings even. If it means risking everything, even if it fails, I have to try because that's what humans do. We try, we fight, we refuse to give up. Even when it's impossible. Especially when it's impossible. The room was silent for a long moment. Then Dr. Kellax stood up. I have studied human biology for 5 years, he said. I have always found it inefficient, messy, unnecessarily complicated, but I'm beginning to understand why it evolved that way. Humans don't just survive. They overcome. They adapt to situations that would kill any other species. If Jiho believes he can guide his own reconstruction, then I believe we should let him try. I agree, said a Keldan doctor from the back row. This is unprecedented, but so is the entire situation. If we can save him, we must try. One by one, doctors and officials stood to voice their support. Even the skeptical ones admitted that the evidence was compelling. Human consciousness truly was different from anything they'd encountered before. Finally, Kor stood. His massive frame made the podium look small. I am not comfortable with this, he admitted. It violates every principle of biology I know. But I cannot deny what I have seen. Jiho is aware. He is alive in whatever form that takes. The medical board grants permission for the experimental reconstruction procedure, but it will be monitored by a team of observers. And if at any point it becomes dangerous, I will terminate the process immediately. Relief flooded through Teo. He looked at the screens where Jiho's text still glowed. Thank you, he said to the board. Then he looked at the screens. We're going to bring you back, Jiho, I promise. Thank you, all of you. I know this is crazy, I know it's scary, but thank you for not giving up on me. We never give up, Bora said, standing up. That's what makes us human. The board adjourned. Teo, Haun, Woojin, and Bora gathered in the hallway outside. When do we start? Bora asked. Tomorrow morning, Teo replied. We need to prepare the bioreconstructor and set up the neural interface. It's going to be a long process. Maybe days. I'll stay with him the whole time, Bora said firmly. He won't be alone. None of us will be alone, Haun added. We're in this together. They walked back toward the medical bay, 4 humans united in their impossible mission. Behind them, on every screen in the station, Jiho's message still glowed. I want to live, and they would make sure he did. Woojin arrived at 3 a.m. He was a thin man with oil stains on his uniform and exhaustion in his eyes. But when Teo explained the situation, that exhaustion turned to sharp focus. Let me see the data, Wu Jin said, taking Hayun's tablet. He studied the screens in silence for several minutes. Then he whistled softly. This is incredible. And terrifying. His consciousness is fragmenting. See these gaps? Parts of his memory are breaking apart. Can we stop it? Bora asked urgently. Maybe. The scanner's buffer was never meant to hold dynamic data. It's like trying to hold water in a net. But if we could transfer him to a better storage system. Wu Jin pulled up a schematic on the tablet. The station's main computer core has enough capacity. We could move him there temporarily. That's illegal, Haun pointed out. Uploading unauthorized data into the station's core systems is a serious crime. So is letting someone die when you can save them. Wu Jin shot back. What's the plan? Follow rules while Jiho disappears? Teo looked at the scanner screen. Jiho, we can move you to a bigger system where you'll be safer. But it means breaking station regulations. Do you understand? One blink, yes. Are you willing to take that risk? One blink, yes. Then we do it, Teo decided. Wu Jin, how long will the transfer take? 2 hours, maybe 3. I need to set up a secure connection and compress his data pattern without losing information. It's delicate work. I'll help, Haun offered. I know neural mapping. Between us, we can keep his consciousness intact during the transfer. What about me? Bora asked. Keep watch, Teo told her. If anyone comes, you need to warn us. We can't let the station staff find out what we're doing. Bora nodded and moved to the door. Teo, Hayun, and Wu Jin began their work. It was slow, careful labor. They had to map every neural pathway, every memory pattern, every piece of Jiho's consciousness. Then they had to compress it all into a format that could travel through the station's data network without corruption. Talk to us, Jiho, Haun said as she worked. Tell us about yourself. It helps to keep you focused while we move you. Text appeared on the scanner screen. Slowly at first, then faster as Jiho got used to communicating this way. Was a cargo pilot, boring job. Long routes between stations. Bora is my sister, my only family. Our parents died when we were young. Ship accident like this one. Funny how things repeat. Not funny, Bora said from the door, her voice thick with emotion. Not funny at all. Sorry, I don't mean funny, I mean strange. Words are hard now. Thoughts feel slippery, like trying to hold smoke. That's the fragmentation, Wu Jin explained. We're working as fast as we can. Thank you, all of you. Other species would have given up on me, deleted me, but humans don't give up. We're stubborn. Yes, we are. Teo agreed with a small smile. It's kept us alive for thousands of years. I'm scared. What if I'm not really me anymore? What if I'm just a copy, just data? Hayun stopped working and looked at the screen. Jiho, listen to me. Your consciousness is you. It doesn't matter if it exists in neurons or in electrical signals. You think, you feel, you remember. That makes you real. That makes you Jiho. Do other species know about this? That humans can do this? No, Teo admitted. You're the first one we've discovered. Other humans who showed damaged data errors were probably experiencing the same thing. But no one knew to look for it. They thought it was just scanner malfunction. How many? We don't know, Hayun said quietly. Find them. When this is over, promise me you'll find them. If there are other humans trapped in machines, find them. I promise, Teo said. The transfer took 4 hours instead of 3. The sun was starting to rise outside the station's windows when Wu Jin finally nodded. We're ready. Jiho, this is going to feel strange. You'll move from the scanner through the station's data network into the main computer core. It'll take about 5 minutes. During that time, you might lose awareness. Don't panic. We'll be on the other end waiting for you. I'm ready. Wu Jin pressed a button. The scanner screen went dark. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then the lights in the trauma bay flickered. The computer screens on the walls all turned blue. Text appeared on every display at once. This is amazing. I can see everything, the whole station, all the systems. This is like having a million eyes. Jiho, stay focused, Hayun warned. Don't spread yourself too thin. Keep your consciousness centralized. Right, sorry, it's hard. So much information, so much space. I could get lost in here. Don't, Bora said firmly. You stay with us. You hear me? Don't you dare get lost. Ill-try, Teo felt relief wash over him. They had done it. Jiho was safe, at least for now. But they still faced the bigger question. What happened next? We need to tell the medical board, Hoon said. They need to know what happened. About Jiho, about human consciousness, all of it. They'll never believe us, Wu Jin argued. Aliens don't understand human biology. They'll think we're making it up or that we've gone crazy. Then we prove it to them, Teo said. We present the data, the evidence, everything. We show them that Jiho is alive and aware. And if they still don't believe us? Bora asked. What if they decide to wipe the computer core anyway? What if they say Jiho is just corrupted data that needs to be deleted? Before anyone could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed. A voice over the intercom announced, "Security alert. Unauthorized access to main computer systems detected. All personnel report to stations." This is not a drill. The four humans looked at each other in horror. They found him, Wu Jin whispered. The doors to the trauma bay slammed open. 6 security officers rushed in, followed by Station Director Quor. He was a massive Threxian, nearly 7 feet tall, with blue scales and cold yellow eyes. Which one of you hacked the station computer? Quor demanded, his voice like grinding metal. I did, Teo said, stepping forward. I take full responsibility. Arrest him, Quor ordered. 2 security officers grabbed Teo's arms and shut down the trauma bay. Wipe all systems. I want that corrupted data removed immediately. No, Bora shouted. You don't understand. That's my brother. He's alive. Your brother is dead, Quor said coldly. What you uploaded into our computer is damaged biological data. It is contaminating our systems. It must be deleted. He's not dead, Hayun insisted. He's conscious. He can think and communicate. He's a person, not data. Impossible. Consciousness cannot exist outside a physical brain. Human consciousness can, Wu Jin said. We can prove it. I do not care about your proof. I care about station safety. The unauthorized program will be deleted. This discussion is over. Quor turned to leave. The security officers began dragging Teo toward the door. Bora grabbed Hayun's tablet and typed frantically. Wait, she shouted. Look at the screens. Every display in the trauma bay lit up. Text appeared, but not in any normal pattern. It spread across all the screens at once, forming a single massive message that filled the room. My name is Jiho. I am a human, I am alive, I am aware, I think, therefore I am. You cannot delete me, I will not be erased, I have the right to exist. The room fell silent. Even Quor stopped walking. He stared at the screens with all 4 of his eyes. What is this? He demanded. This is Jiho, Teo said quietly. This is a human surviving the only way he can. And if you delete him, you're not removing corrupted data. You're committing murder. Quor looked at the screens, at the humans, at the message blazing across every display. His scaled face showed no emotion. But Teo saw something in those yellow eyes. Doubt. Uncertainty. I will convene an emergency medical board hearing, Quor said finally. Until then, the program will remain in the system. But it will be isolated. No access to other station functions. Security will monitor it constantly. Thank you, Teo breathed. Do not thank me yet, Doctor. If the board decides this is not life, if they rule it is merely malfunctioning code, it will be deleted. And you will face serious charges. Quor swept out of the room, taking the security officers with him. The 4 humans stood in silence for a long moment. Then text appeared on the nearest screen. That was close. Too close, Bora agreed. When's this hearing? Tomorrow morning, Teo said. We have maybe 12 hours to prepare. Then we'd better make them count, Hayun said. Because we're not just fighting for Jiho anymore. We're fighting for every human who might face this situation in the future. We're fighting to prove that human life doesn't end just because the body does. They got to work. The emergency alarm screamed through the medical station. Dr. Teo dropped his coffee and ran toward the trauma bay. His shoes squeaked against the polished metal floors as he rushed past alien doctors and nurses. After 2 years working on Station Epsilon 7, he still felt like the odd one out. He was the only human doctor among 40 alien physicians. The sliding doors opened with a hiss. Inside, a team of Rin doctors surrounded a floating medical bed. Their gray skin looked almost silver under the bright lights. Teo pushed through to see the patient. His stomach twisted. The man on the bed was human, or what was left of him. The body was crushed, burned, and broken. Teo could barely recognize it as a person. Blood floated in small drops around the anti-gravity field that held the body in place. Cargo ship explosion. said Dr. Kellax, the head physician. His 3 eyes blinked in sequence. The pilot. We need to scan him quickly. Teo nodded. He knew the protocol. When someone was this badly hurt, the advanced bioreconstructor scanner was their only hope. The machine could rebuild anybody from just a small piece of living tissue. It had saved thousands of lives from dozens of different alien species. 2 nurses wheeled the massive scanner over. It looked like a metal ring covered in blue lights. They positioned it over the broken body. Dr. Kellax touched the control panel with his long fingers. The machine hummed to life. Teo watched the screen. The scanner sent millions of tiny beams through the body, reading every cell, every piece of DNA. It would match the genetic pattern to the species database and create a perfect map for reconstruction. He had seen it work dozens of times, but something was wrong. The screen flickered. Numbers and symbols scrolled too fast to read. Then everything stopped. 2 words appeared in red letters. Damaged data. Dr. Kellax made a clicking sound with his throat. That is impossible. Run it again. The nurses reset the machine. Again, the blue light scanned the body. Again, the same result. Damaged data. The scanner is malfunctioning, Dr. Kellax announced. Get another one. But Teo was staring at the screen. He saw something that made his blood run cold. The cursor on the screen had moved. Not the normal blinking of a computer cursor. It had moved deliberately, forming a pattern. Like Morse code. Like something was trying to communicate. Wait, Teo said. Look at the screen. There is nothing to look at. The data is corrupted. The scanner cannot read his genetic template. Dr. Kellax waved a dismissive hand. We will try the backup unit. No, I saw something. The cursor moved. The Vryn doctor's 3 eyes all focused on Teo. Dr. Teo, cursors do not move on their own. The scanner has failed. This happens sometimes with severely damaged tissue. There is nothing we can do. Teo felt anger rising in his chest. He's human. Maybe your scanner doesn't understand human biology yet. We only joined the coalition 50 years ago. Maybe there's something in our genetic code that... The scanner has the complete human genome template, Dr. Kellax interrupted. It has successfully scanned 43 humans since your species joined us. The problem is not the species. The problem is that this body is too damaged. Even if we could scan him, there is not enough living tissue remaining to reconstruct. The other doctors were already moving away from the bed. The nurses began disconnecting the monitors. In their eyes, the man was already dead. What are you doing? Teo demanded. Standard protocol for damaged data readings, Dr. Kellax explained calmly. When tissue is too damaged to scan, we must dispose of it properly. We will contact his family and he might still be alive. Look at him, Dr. Teo. Even if some cells are still living, his brain is completely destroyed. There is no consciousness remaining. We are not murderers. We are simply acknowledging what has already happened. Teo looked at the broken body. Dr. Kellax was right. The man's head was crushed. No one could survive that. But something in Teo's gut told him to fight. Humans didn't give up easily. That's what made them different from other species in the galaxy. I want to keep him on life support for 24 hours, Teo said firmly. Just to be sure. Dr. Kellax's face showed something like pity. Very well. But after 24 hours, we must follow protocol. I understand this is difficult. He is your species, but death is natural, even for humans. The Vryn doctor and his team left the trauma bay. Teo stood alone with the body. He walked over to the scanner and touched the screen. It was dark now, powered down. If you're in there, he whispered, give me a sign, anything. Nothing happened. Teo felt foolish talking to a machine. He turned to leave. Behind him, the scanner activated on its own. Teo spun around. The screen was glowing blue. The machine's hum filled the quiet room. He hadn't touched anything. No one had touched anything. Words appeared on the screen, slowly, 1 letter at a time. Wait. Teo's hands shook as he pulled out his communicator. He pressed the button for Ha-Un, a human neuroscientist who worked in the research wing. She answered after 2 rings. Ha-Un, I need you in Trauma Bay 3. Right now, what's wrong? I think I found someone who's dead but not dead. There was a pause. Teo, that doesn't make sense. I know, just come. And bring your neural mapping equipment. He ended the call and looked back at the screen. The word wait was still there, glowing in the darkness. Teo pulled up a chair and sat down next to the scanner. Okay, he said to the machine, to the broken body, to whatever was listening. I'm waiting. I'm not going anywhere. The screen flickered once, and Teo could have sworn the cursor blinked at him. Not a system blink. A grateful blink, like someone saying thank you. Outside the trauma bay, the station continued its normal operations. Alien doctors treated alien patients. Ships came and went from the docking ports. The galaxy kept spinning, but in that quiet room something impossible had just happened, and Dr. Teo was the only one who knew it. He looked at the patient's identification band around the crushed wrist. The name read Jiho, just Jiho, no family name listed. A cargo pilot. Probably young. Probably had people who loved him. Don't worry, Jiho, Teo said softly. I've got you. Whatever you are, wherever you are, I've got you. The screen pulsed once with blue light. Teo smiled. This was going to be a long night. But he had seen too many humans do impossible things to doubt this one. If Jiho was fighting to survive in whatever way he could, Teo would fight with him, because that's what humans did. They survived, no matter what. Hyun arrived 30 minutes later carrying 2 cases of equipment. She was a small woman with sharp eyes that missed nothing. When she saw the body on the medical bed, her face went pale. This is the patient? She asked quietly. Was, Teo corrected, according to everyone else. But look at this. He showed her the scanner screen. The word wait was still displayed. Hyun stared at it for a long moment. You said the scanner turned on by itself? Yes, after it gave a damaged data error twice, watch. Teo tried to clear the screen. It wouldn't respond. He pressed the power button. Nothing happened. It won't let me turn it off or reset it. Ha-Eun set down her equipment and approached the scanner carefully. She pulled out a small device that looked like a tablet and connected it to the scanner's data port. Her fingers flew across the screen as she pulled up diagnostic information. This is strange, she muttered. The scanner is using almost no power, just enough to keep the display active. But it's processing huge amounts of data in the background. What kind of data? I don't know yet. Give me a minute. Ha-Eun typed commands into her tablet. Lines of code scrolled past. She frowned. Teo, this doesn't make sense. The scanner collected the patient's biological information, right? Yes, before it crashed with the damaged data error. It didn't crash. It's still processing that information. The scan completed successfully, but the system is calling it damaged because it doesn't match any known pattern in the species database. Teo moved closer to look at her screen. But humans are in the database. Dr. Kellick said the scanner has successfully scanned 43 humans before. Dead humans, Ha-Eun said. Or healthy humans. But this, she pointed at a complex graph on her tablet. Human DNA is strange compared to other species. We have all these extra sequences that don't seem to do anything. Scientists call it junk DNA. But what if it's not junk? What if it activates during extreme trauma? I don't understand. Ha-Eun pulled up another screen. Every species in the galaxy evolved on stable planets. Safe planets. Their DNA is like an instruction manual that never changes. But humans evolved on Earth. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, diseases that killed millions. Our DNA had to be flexible, adaptable. She zoomed in on a specific pattern. Look at this. These sequences are rewriting themselves in real time. The scanner thinks the data is damaged because it keeps changing, but it's not damaged. It's adapting. Teo felt his heart beat faster. So Jiho is alive? His body is dead. There's no question about that. His brain was destroyed in the accident. But his neural patterns? Ha-Eun pulled up another graph. I'm reading electrical activity. Not in the body. In the scanner's data buffer. That's impossible. I know. But I'm looking right at it. Somehow during the scan, his consciousness uploaded itself into the machine. It's like a survival instinct. When the body dies, the mind finds another place to exist. Teo sat down heavily in a chair. Other species can't do this. No. Their consciousness is tied directly to their brain structure. When the brain dies, they die. Completely. But humans. Ha-Eun looked at the broken body with something like awe in her eyes. We're different. Our consciousness is information. And information can be copied, stored, transferred. So he's trapped in there? In the scanner. Yes, and he's aware. That's why the screen showed that message. He's trying to communicate. Teo stood and approached the scanner. Jiho, can you hear me? Blink the screen once for yes, twice for no. The screen blinked once. Ha-Eun gasped. Teo felt chills run down his spine. Are you in pain? He asked. 2 blinks. No. Are you scared? 1 blink. Yes. Can we help you? The screen stayed dark for a long moment. Then it blinked once. But after that, text appeared. Running out of time. What does that mean? Teo looked at Ha-un. She was studying her tablet with growing concern. Human consciousness needs an anchor. A physical brain, or at least a structured environment. The scanner's buffer is temporary storage. It was never designed to hold living thought patterns. He's like water in a cup with holes in the bottom. He's slowly leaking away. How long does he have? I don't know. Maybe hours, maybe days, but without a body or a proper storage system, he'll eventually dissipate. He'll cease to exist. The doors to the trauma bay slid open. A young woman rushed in, followed by a security guard trying to stop her. She had the same facial features as Jiho. His sister Teo realized. Where is he? The woman demanded. Where's my brother? They told me he was dead, but I want to see him. I'm Dr. Teo. You must be Bora. I'm his co-pilot. His sister? The ship exploded and I got out, but Jiho was still inside and her voice broke. She saw the body on the bed and went silent. Tears filled her eyes. Teo caught her arm gently before she could collapse. Bora, listen to me. Your brother's body is gone, but his consciousness is still here. He's alive, just not in the way you expect. Bora looked at him like he was crazy. What are you talking about? Hyan stepped forward. Your brother's mind uploaded itself into this medical scanner during the accident. He's aware. He can communicate. We just talked to him. That's impossible. So is surviving a cargo ship explosion, but you did it, Ha-un said gently. Humans are full of impossible things. Bora walked slowly to the scanner. She touched the screen with shaking fingers. Jiho, are you really in there? The screen blinked once. Bora made a sound between a laugh and a sob. This is insane. This is completely insane. Can we get him out? Can we give him a new body or something? We're working on it, Teo said. But even as he spoke, he knew the problems they faced. The bioreconstructor needed a complete genetic template to build a body. Jiho's template kept changing. And even if they could build a body, how would they transfer consciousness from machine to flesh? No one had ever done that before. There's another problem, Hayun said quietly. Station Director Kwar has ordered all damaged scanners to be replaced. The new equipment arrives tomorrow morning. They're going to wipe the scanner's memory and dispose of it. Then we stop them, Bora said fiercely. It's not that simple, Teo explained. Kwar is Threxian. Their species sees any biological irregularity as contamination. If he finds out about Jiho, he'll order the scanner destroyed immediately. He'll say we're risking station safety by keeping corrupted data in the medical system. So what do we do? Bora asked. The 3 humans looked at each other. Then they looked at the scanner. We have less than 24 hours, Hayun said. We need to figure out how to save him before the morning shift arrives. I'll contact Wu Jin, Teo said, pulling out his communicator. He's a human engineer in the maintenance department. If anyone can help us with the technical side, it's him. I'll stay with Jiho, Bora said, pulling a chair close to the scanner.
He shouldn't be alone. The screen flickered.
Text appeared. Thank you. That night, while the rest of the station slept, 4 humans began a desperate race against time. They didn't know if they could save Jiho. They didn't even know if what they were planning was possible. But they would try. Because humans never accepted death quietly. They fought. They adapted. They survived. Even when survival meant existing as thoughts trapped in a machine, they fought. And they would keep fighting until the very end. The reconstruction chamber looked like a glass coffin filled with blue light. Inside, microscopic machines floated in a gel-like substance, ready to build tissue cell by cell. Teo stood at the control panel, checking readings for the 100th time. Hyun worked beside him, calibrating the neural interface. Wu Jin was connecting cables that would link Jiho's consciousness from the main computer directly into the chamber. Bora sat nearby, watching everything with wide eyes. Dr. Kellix and 5 other alien doctors observed from behind a protective barrier. Station Director Kwar watched from a monitor in his office, ready to shut down the procedure if anything went wrong. We're almost ready, Ha-un announced. Jiho, can you feel the connection to the chamber? Yes. It's strange, like having a body made of mist. I can sense it, but I can't control it yet. That will come, Teo assured him. Once we activate the cellular growth, your consciousness will spread through the developing tissues. You'll guide the reconstruction instinctively, the same way you breathe without thinking about it. What if I build it wrong? What if I come out looking like a monster? You won't, Haun said gently. Your consciousness carries your self-image. Your body will form according to how you see yourself. It might not be exactly the same as before, but it will be you. I'm scared. I know, Bora said, moving closer to the chamber. I'm scared too, but you're the bravest person I know, big brother. You always have been. You keep calling me big brother. I'm only 3 minutes older than you. Bora laughed through her tears. 3 minutes counts. Starting the process now, Teo said. He pressed a sequence of buttons. The chamber hummed to life. The blue gel began to swirl and glow brighter. Jiho, you're going to feel strange sensations, Hayun explained. Your consciousness will fragment temporarily as it spreads through the growing tissue. Don't panic. It's normal. Just focus on holding on to your sense of self. I understand. I'm ready. Teo activated the cellular growth. Inside the chamber, tiny particles began to cluster together. First came the skeletal structure, forming like frost on a window, then muscles building layer by layer. The alien doctors watched in amazement as the body took shape without following any pre-programmed template. His neural patterns are distributing through the tissue, Ha-Eun reported, watching her monitors. He's maintaining cohesion. This is actually working. But after 2 hours, problems began. The body in the chamber started forming strange protrusions, extra bone density in some areas, unusual muscle structure in others. The growth became chaotic. He's losing control, Dr. Kellax observed. The trauma memories are affecting the reconstruction. Teo could see it too. Jiho's body remembered the explosion, the pain, the destruction. Those memories were coding themselves into his new flesh, creating defensive adaptations. Jiho, listen to my voice. Teo said urgently. You're not in the explosion anymore. You're safe. Focus on who you are now, not what happened to you. The chaotic growth slowed but didn't stop. The body was becoming something different from human. Stronger, denser, more resilient. Should we abort? One of the alien doctors asked nervously. No, Bora said firmly. Let him finish. Whatever he becomes, he's still my brother. The reconstruction continued through the night. The alien doctors took shifts watching, but the 4 humans never left. They stayed by the chamber talking to Jiho, reminding him who he was, guiding him through the process. Remember when we were kids? Bora said during the darkest hour. We used to sneak onto the cargo ships and pretend we were explorers. We'd hide in the containers and imagine we were discovering new worlds. The body in the chamber responded to her voice. The chaotic growth settled slightly, becoming more organized. Our parents would get so mad, Bora continued. Especially that time we fell asleep in a container and it got shipped to the wrong station, remember? We were lost for 3 days before they found us. Something like a smile formed on the half-finished face in the chamber. We weren't scared, Bora said. We had each other, just like now. By morning, the body was nearly complete, but it was different from the original Jiho. The bones were thicker, reinforced. The muscles had an unusual density. The neural pathways showed enhanced connections. The skin had slight metallic undertones, as if the body had incorporated trace elements from the explosion. He's adapted, Ha-Eun said in wonder. His consciousness didn't just rebuild his body. It improved it, made it stronger, more resilient. Is he still human? Dr. Kellax asked. What defines human? Teo replied. The shape of the body? The sequence of DNA? Or the consciousness, the awareness, the soul? Jiho is still Jiho. His body is just better suited for survival now. The chamber's gel began to drain away. The blue light faded. The body inside lay still for a long, terrifying moment. Then it gasped. Jiho's eyes opened. They were the same dark brown they'd always been, but they seemed to glow slightly in the dim light. He looked around in confusion, then focused on his hands. He flexed his fingers slowly, as if learning how to move all over again. Jiho, Bora whispered. He turned his head toward her voice. When he tried to speak, only a rasp came out. His throat was new, unused. Hayun quickly brought him water. After a few sips, he tried again. Bora? His voice was deeper than before, but recognizably his. I'm here, she said, tears streaming down her face. Did it work? Am I real? You're real, Teo confirmed. How do you feel? Jiho sat up slowly. The chamber opened fully. He looked down at his body, examining it with wonder and confusion. I feel strong, really strong, and I can hear everything, see everything. It's like all my senses are turned up too high. That's the enhanced neural pathways, Hyun explained. Your consciousness made improvements while rebuilding. Your body is more efficient now. Jiho stood up carefully. He was taller than before, his frame more solid. When he took a step, his movement had an unusual grace to it, as if his body knew exactly how to balance itself. I remember everything, he said quietly. Being in the scanner, being in the computer, feeling myself break apart. I remember all of you saving me. He looked at each of them in turn. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up. We're human, Woo Jin said with a grin. Giving up isn't really our thing. Dr. Kellax approached cautiously. Jiho, I must perform some tests. We need to understand what your body has become. I know what I am, Jiho said. I'm still me, just better, stronger. The explosion should have killed me. Instead, it made me evolve. Over the next few days, the medical team ran extensive tests. They discovered incredible things about Jiho's new body. His bones could withstand 3 times normal pressure. His muscles were 40% more efficient. His healing rate was accelerated. His brain processed information faster than any normal human. But more importantly, he retained his personality, his memories, his humanity. He was still the man who loved his sister, hated mornings, and dreamed of exploring new worlds. The news spread quickly through the coalition. A human had died and come back different, stronger, better. It raised questions that no one had considered before. What did this mean for humanity? What did it mean for death itself? Hyun began investigating the medical archives as she had promised Jiho. She searched for other cases of damaged data readings in human patients. What she found was disturbing. She called an emergency meeting with Teo and Woo Jin in her lab. I found them, she said, her face pale. 147 cases over the past 50 years. Humans who were declared dead after showing damaged data errors. But if Jiho's case is any indication, they weren't dead, Teo finished, horror dawning on him. They uploaded into the scanners just like Jiho, and then we deleted them, Woo Jin said quietly. We thought we were clearing corrupted data, but we were actually erasing human consciousness. We have to check, Hyun insisted. Maybe some of them survived. Maybe there are fragments still stored somewhere in backup systems. They began the search immediately, pulling archived data from decommissioned medical stations. It took weeks, but slowly they found evidence. Small fragments of consciousness, pieces of awareness that had somehow persisted in backup files and diagnostic logs. And then they found her. Nari, a human diplomat who had died 30 years ago during a routine medical scan. Her consciousness had survived in a maintenance subroutine, watching the station through sensors, unable to communicate. For 3 decades she had been trapped, aware, alone. When they finally established communication, her first message was simple. Finally. I thought I would be alone forever. The discovery changed everything. The coalition was forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. They had been accidentally destroying human consciousness for 50 years. Not out of malice, but out of ignorance. Emergency councils were convened. New protocols were established. Medical scanners across the galaxy were updated with special human consciousness detection systems. Search teams began looking for other trapped humans in old computer systems. And Teo, Ha-un, Bo-ra, and Woo Jin became heroes to their species. They had proven something that would reshape humanity's place in the galaxy. Humans couldn't be killed by simply destroying their bodies. They existed beyond flesh, beyond death. They were survivors in the truest sense of the word. Jiho returned to cargo piloting, but now he flew a special ship designed to handle his enhanced ability.